Well, here now to give us the full unpleasant story is my great pal, former Energy Secretary Dan Brouillette. So, Dan, let's cut to the chase. Let's begin. Mr. Biden's going to have this green energy package. They're going to call it infrastructure, right? You can see that developing. Now, I'd like to know your thoughts, what you're hearing, your ear to the ground. And then, of course, how are we going to pay for this?
Well, Larry, great. It's great to be with you again. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about this very important issue for the country, very important for our economy right now. But you're absolutely right, Larry. What they disguise this conversation in is infrastructure, and we do need more infrastructure. As you and I have talked about in the past, we need more pipelines. We need more electricity transmission grids so that we can move electricity around very easily and avoid the catastrophes that we just saw in Texas and last year in California. So we need that. But how do you pay for it is the fundamental question. And there's this big conversation in Washington today about a carbon tax. And Larry, as we have studied this in the past and asked Bill Clinton about a BTU tax, he knows all about carbon taxes. Go back and read your history. Look at what happened there. It costs enormous amounts of money out of American families' pockets in order to pay for this. So we're going to be looking already with the current Biden policies of about $4 a gallon of gas at the end of this year would be my prediction. On top of that, folks in Congress want to add another tax to our current price of gasoline. So, you know, this is real money, and this is coming out of the pockets of the middle class, Larry. These types of taxes are very, very regressive. They hit the lower income stratus, the lower income folks first, and it's a horrible approach, in my view, to fund this infrastructure.
Well, two quick things, Dan, on this. First of all, on the pipeline message, I mean, right, I don't think their infrastructure package is going to do a thing about inadequate pipelines, particularly the pipelines, you know, in Texas going east up into New York and Boston, where they get a lot of their natural gas from Russia. Isn't that a great idea? But you've got a Secretary of the Interior coming, Holland, right? She is an avowed opponent of fossil fuels, fracking, and pipelines. And the Interior Department is a very important department, right? It runs, what, 20–25% of our public lands. And I don't think the Energy Secretary, the former governor of Michigan, is going to do much better. What do you think?
Unfortunately, Larry, the direction they're taking seems to be the wrong one. I mean, we just had an important meeting that occurred overseas with OPEC just about a week or so ago, and we saw them keep the markets fairly stable with their current levels of production. But what that means, however, is that as America moves to reduce production in the United States, OPEC is going to continue to gain market share, and that makes us less energy independent, a goal that we had sought for many, many years and achieved just last year. So it's very important that we look at these policies going forward. Federal lands are very important resources for us, and they belong to the American people. We should be using them in a way that helps the economy in America, not hurt the economy in America.
I mean, I'm just saying, Dan, that, yeah, they're boosting it up as an infrastructure package, but there's a hidden agenda, or maybe not so hidden agenda. Yeah. And people should know that right now. And finally, the carbon tax threat. I mean, I think you're dead right about a national federal hike in the gas tax, which I don't like either. That should be done by the states. But the carbon tax will not turn the revenues back to taxpayers in the form of other tax cuts. It will be used to spend, Dan Brouillette, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely, Larry. This is not something where you get to redistribute the wealth. Congress can find a million ways to spend money on any given day, and that's exactly what they're going to do with this newfound revenue. I would argue this is also not a free market approach. It's not a market approach at all. It's another mandate. It's another tax. It's going to be placed on the American worker, and we're all going to be the worse for it.
Dan Brouillette, former Energy Secretary, folks. He knows whereof he speaks. Thank you, Dan.